Welcome to another season of Hoda's Career Info, the program where career professionals from across the globe meet to empower you to succeed. This program is brought to you by Right Career Fit. Listen and learn, and remember to have that very important career conversation with a career professional.
In order to be successful in a job, you want to be able to integrate into the culture of the organization. You want to be able to make sure that you fit in with the organization in terms of your capabilities. You understand where the organization is planning to move forward and how you can best be able to support them. It can be challenging, and we've all faced our challenges, whether or not looking for new roles and new opportunities, and things don't always go our way when we are looking for the work. Be good to yourself, because there are challenges that will come your way and things don't always go the way you want it to be. Continue to be self-reflective and reflect on where you are in your career and how you can move forward. As long as you have that persistence and determination, roles will come up. Continue to have your network as well, to build upon your network and to have a network throughout your whole career. Persistence and networking are the ways that can help you in your career.
Thank you for joining me in Hoda's Career Info, your career program where guests from across the globe share career tips and personal stories to help you successfully navigate your career. I am Hoda, your host. I look forward to another season of career chats with international professionals who will inspire you to take your journey to the next level. My guest today on Hoda's Career Info is Brian Epstein. Brian is an ICF Associate Certified Coach and a Coaches Training Institute coach. He has over 20 years' experience in career transition, career management, and leadership coaching services, working in corporations, small and medium businesses, government, and academic organizations. As a result of Brian's support, Brian's clients have been able to make more money and enjoy a career path that aligns with their professional and personal goals. Whether working with businesses or individuals, Brian partners up with his clients so that they have an ally whom they can trust and always has their best interests in mind. His clients are confident that Brian will support them to achieve their full potential. Finally, Brian is a board member of the Ontario Association of Career Management, a not-for-profit association dedicated to advancing the knowledge, service delivery, and the livelihood of career management professionals across Ontario. When talking about job seeking as well as successful careers, there is a subject that many shy away from discussing. However, Brian Epstein did not. Join me as Brian shares his challenges and some valuable tips to deal with your career tests and trials. Welcome, Brian Epstein, to Hoda's Career Info. It's a pleasure to have you join me today. And as with all guests, I'm going to start by challenging you to choose one career term that describes the work that you do. And I would like your definition from your perspective, not the definition that I would do a Google search or find in a dictionary.
So what is your key career term, Brian?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me today. I'm really happy to meet with you. And the word that kind of stays, I was thinking about this, what would be the perfect word? And I think it's culture. Whether or not one is doing career coaching or facilitating in a workshop or working with clients at their workplace or helping them to find new work, it's the word culture comes to mind, because in order to be successful in a job, you want to be able to integrate into the culture of the organization you're working with. You want to understand the culture. You want to know the people that you are going to be working with. And when I mean culture, I'm not talking about religious or other culture like that. I'm talking about fitting in within the organization. You want to be able to make sure that you fit in with the organization in terms of your capabilities. You understand where the organization is planning to move forward and how you can best be able to support them within the organization.
That's a great way of describing culture. And thank you for clarifying that. And that's where I usually ask guests to identify it from their perspective. Because when you said culture, I was thinking, my mind went a totally different direction. But your idea is very important, and it has to fit with what we want for ourselves as well. So great choice of career term. Based on that and those ideas, I would like to know if you could share with us a personal story that is, worthy for my audience to learn from, and what kind of message would you send within that story?
Well, and this is my own personal story, correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I come from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. I grew up there. And although my family were immigrants from the old Soviet Union over 100 years ago and immigrated there and did quite well there in professions and business, in Nova Scotia, there is a lot of high unemployment there. So it's always been on my mind, and empathizing with the people that were living there, of the situations that they had to go through in their own personal lives. So after I went to university, and I came to move from Ottawa to Toronto. I'm moving ahead a little bit. I moved from Nova Scotia over to Ontario, where I went to university, and now I've moved to Toronto. I had challenges in myself finding work, and I started to realize that my empathy for the people that I knew growing up in Nova Scotia, I need to put some of that empathy on myself right now. And I needed to try to figure out how I can best support myself to find work. And I guess keeping in mind what I went through as looking for work when I first moved to Toronto, and keeping in mind the people in Nova Scotia, I realized that I wanted to get into this work and to helping people to find their own work. And I started to facilitate some workshops, and I also did some career coaching. I've worked for some outplacement organizations in Ontario, and I continue to do that work, working for some outplacement organizations, and I have some of my own clients. I have also done some work in the college system and the university system, coaching some young people who are in transition after they graduate, or they're about to graduate, or they're alumni coming back from some support, and helping them to develop their own career strategy and provide them with the resources and the support to help them to navigate to get their next role and to be successful in their careers.
So with all that experience, what kind of message would you like to say, let people know as they're transitioning, or from your personal story, any lesson you learned you'd like to share?
Sure. I think the thing is that it can be challenging, and we've all faced our challenges, whether or not looking for new roles and new opportunities, and things don't always go our way when we are looking for the work. But I guess another word that comes to mind is persistence and determination. And as long as you have that persistence and determination, roles will come up, and you will find new opportunities, and you will be successful in your work search, and in your careers. Making sure that you reach out to get other support when you need it, to continue to have your network as well, to build upon your network, and to have a network throughout your whole career. And so I think persistence and networking are the ways that can help you in your career.
Thank you so much for these wonderful career tips, Brian. We talked about challenges, and in the news today, we're constantly hearing about layoffs. And I know that you wrote an article that relates to this. So, in your opinion, how are companies handling layoffs in the most efficient manner today?
I think it's been really hot in the news right now that some organizations have really not done as well as they can. And what they are not doing is putting themselves in the situation of the person being downsized. I mean, I think there are some organizations that are trying to be very empathetic and keeping in mind what the person or persons that are being downsized. And I've been on site for organizations that are really being empathetic and trying to help the person as much as possible, keeping in mind what's important to this person. So when the downsizing is going to be done, and how can the message be communicated. But I think in other times there's been a message, it's been in the news of some organizations that have done it a little bit callously, and they've done it 1, 2, 3, and they shut off the computers. And there's been a couple stories that made the media and went viral of how they didn't show any empathy. So showing empathy, and that's the word that I keep on saying today, but it's really true. If you can see yourself in the other person's feet, not necessarily just their shoes, but wearing it in their feet, on and being understanding what this person must be going through, and trying to give the message, and trying to put keep all that in consideration when giving the news. It's never easy to give such news. It's never easy to take such news. Never. But sometimes, unfortunately, businesses have to make those decisions. But I think as long as they can show empathy and show what's in the best interest, even in this most difficult situation, to help this particular employee or manager, it's going to be better for everybody.
Well, that's certainly a good message to pass on to organizations. I hope someone listening will benefit from this advice. I'm going to move on to a different topic, Brian. My last question to you, as a career practitioner, I always ask my clients to embrace challenges or take on new professional development opportunities. What do you have going on in your professional life?
Well, right now, I continue to work with people that have been laid off from organizations. I also I continue to work with people that are new and starting out in their careers, and providing support to them because they maybe finished their degrees or are about to apply for co-op programs, and I'm supporting them, as well as I'm working with some organizations that are interested in providing leadership for their team, and providing them, as I've mentioned before, wanting to provide the support that they can to help their teams to prosper within their own organizations.
Well, many of us have two passions, and I feel you're torn between the two and trying to juggle the two. So good for you, and congratulations on that. It's always good to have a couple of interests and enjoy the process of work in the field. These were all the questions I have for you today, Brian. Was there anything else you would like to add that I didn't ask you about, or more tips to wrap up with?
The only tip I can suggest is for people to continue to be self-reflective, and reflect on where you are in your career and how you can move forward, and be good to yourself, because there are challenges that will come your way, and things don't always go the way you want it to be. But if you show, as I said before, determination and motivation, you will be able to get to your goals at some point in hopefully the near future.
Such important reminders. And thank you so much, Brian, for joining me today.
Thank you, Hoda.
You've been listening to Hoda's Career Info, the program where career professionals from across the globe join me to empower you to succeed. My guest today on Hoda's Career Info, Brian Epstein, shared his challenges and some valuable tips to deal with your career tests and trials. How do you deal with employment and career challenges? Please share your experiences and your tips in the comments section. You can connect with Brian Epstein on LinkedIn. Please remember that you can listen to Hoda's Career Info since it's also dropped as a podcast. To let me know if you are interested in an opportunity to talk about your work, you can send me a direct message on my website, rightcareerfit.com, where you can also sign up for my newsletter to stay up to date on the latest episodes. Remember to like, subscribe, share, and follow me on social media for more career info. I am your host, Hoda, and until next time, stay inspired and keep moving forward in constructive ways.